I had to walk a bit downhill to get into the Pantheon. Here I am entering the Pantheon. Oops. Look at all the columns on each side. It's quite majestic. I am entering it. Wow, it's beautiful. Remember, this is the most well preserved because it was a temple and then became a church, so it was never plundered for its copper, and it was always restored over time. It's beautiful inside here. 1900 years old temple that's been redone as a church. Wow. It's beautiful. 1400 years old. This is the tomb of the first king of Italy once it was reunified. What's interesting is Romans invented concrete. What they did, and the dome is concrete, they put a wooden structure, framing, and then they poured the concrete, and then because they need to get out, they built that hole. And there's no glass on top of that hole, it's open, so when it rains only in this center part of the building. And they've been very clever, much like how Luca, the Pinocchio, was written by an Italian author. And here is somebody who's clearly not Giuseppe, Pinocchio's maker, but someone who's just the same, making wooden Pinocchio. Famous Bartolucci. I can't remember, in Venice told us all about drainage. You can see we are in the Piazza Navron at the conclusion of our tour. She ended us in front of this church that was built by Bernini. Oh, actually, the architect was somebody else. The sculptor of this artwork in front of it was Bernini, and you'll see lots of rivers, and that represents the 4 continents that they knew about at that time. Everything from North America, Europe, Middle East, and Asia. And you'll see at the very top of the obelisk a dove, which signifies Christianity, as well as the Pope's crest at the time, which you'll see here on the right. So this is intended to be a religious sculpture. And then the water in the pool is meant to be earth. And we're going to come back to the square later tomorrow because most of them are shut. There's a lot of artists here. We'll probably come by and buy a few of their artwork. The reason why this is a long oblong and an odd-shaped square is because built under this piazza was built on top of an athletic field. Drainage holes there. And what else is interesting is that the diameter of this is the same as the height of this, so very symmetrical. During the time when people were allowed to be buried inside churches, Raphael, the famous painter of many of the rooms in the apartments at the Vatican, received the permission of the government and the Pope to be buried in the Pantheon. And there's his gravesite. And he is actually buried right next to Queen Marguerite, who is also affectionately known as the Queen of Pizza. Michelle's favorite Marguerite pizza, which is tomato, cheese, and basil. She's buried opposite the first king of the unified Italy. And now I am exiting the Pantheon. We've got gladiators. Tourists take a picture with the gladiators, and they've asked that you pay them 10 euros. Nice little square. Interestingly, Michelangelo took inspiration from the Pantheon when he architected the St. Peter's Basilica. Very nice.